This expedition was tasked with resolving the many unknowns of this situation. We could be reuniting with our Boron brethren. Equally, we could find ourselves welcoming a fleet of Xenon destroyers.
Welcome to Kingdom End, where the Boron race has made a grand entry. The appearance of a mysterious jump gate in a neutral sector has caused anxiety among the races, and an exploration team made of members from different factions has been dispatched to unravel the secrets. In this video, we will focus on the Boron ships, which have made a significant impact in the X universe. For the first time in the X series, the Boron are fully interactive, and players have a chance to learn about their unique civilization and engineering prowess. Join us on an exciting journey to explore the Boron ships, designed with intricate organic shapes that pulsate with life and are colored in a deep blue hue that evokes tranquility and calmness. Despite their focus on defensive ships, the Boron fleet boasts of two impressive carriers, size XL and L, capable of launching squadrons of deadly fighters at once. The Barracuda, a fighter with potent weapons and shield energy that rivals even some corvettes, is undoubtedly the shining star of their fleet. So, let's dive in and explore the unique Boron ships in X4 Kingdom End. Before we start, a short interlude. This video has no placement, but you can support me and this channel by buying the new DLC through my link in the description. It is for GOG and doesn't cost anything extra. You can use this link for any other games on GOG too. Thank you so much, and now back to the video.
Renowned friend!
Greetings, reputable friend. What will you do with your new ship after our herald duty?
I will continue my journeys to visit all the different communities, make countless new friends, and learn about their customs.
I understand that you're eager to learn about ships, and I'm happy to oblige. Let's start with the S-sized courier, known as the Terrapin, with a robust 4,000 hull points and almost 1,500 shield points, making it one of the most defensive couriers in the galaxy. You'll notice this defensive capability in action throughout our video today. In fact, I'd like to emphasize that Boron ships in general are highly defensive vessels. Next up, we have the S-class miner called the Grouper. It's pretty similar to the previous model with almost the same look and stats, but the Grouper does come with a mining laser, which is, well, handy. Moving on, let's check out the two new scouts. The first is the Piranha, which is the basic model from the Boron. It has similar stats to the Courier, but it's faster, although it only comes with a single weapon. It's great for simple tasks, or to create a distraction against your enemy. The next scout, the Irokanji, is definitely an improvement. It's even faster than a Piranha, but still only comes with a single weapon and shield. However, the S-class shield is top-notch and possibly one of the best out there. This already leads us to our next ship, the Mako Fighter. The Mako Fighter has nearly as many hull points and shield power as the split Mamba. And just like the Mamba, it only has two weapons. However, it's incredibly fast and you can easily produce it in large numbers. While it may lack a bit in shield and weapons, its cool design makes up for it. We're moving fast, but that's because we have a lot to cover. And now on to one of the most popular ships you'll see when playing the Boron race, the Barracuda. This ship looks absolutely stunning, and it's already set up for an offensive playstyle. It's equipped with 3 weapons and 3 shields, with more shield power than hull points. This makes it a great option for hit-and-run tactics. You can install a dumbfire missile launcher with your guns and make it a hard-hitting ship, or you can go with a torpedo launcher and use it to take down capital ships. Later on, we'll see that the carrier can deploy multiple Barracudas at once, spiking its offensive capabilities within seconds. The Barracuda isn't the fastest ship out there, but it doesn't really matter when it's placed on a carrier and brought onto battle with you. It's still a great option. Oh, and by the way, all of these stats are based on high presets, of course. Now, Let's move on to the M-class ships. Up first, we have the Dolphin Transporter. This ship comes equipped with the strongest shield of all medium transporters by far. In addition, its hull points are second only to the Cormorant Vanguard, falling just 1000 points short. However, the Dolphin only has one turret, which means it lacks the means of defending itself. Despite its name, the Dolphin doesn't really resemble a dolphin at all. It looks more like a carp to me, but that's just my opinion. Moving on to the Porpoise Miner. Hope I say that right. It has 2 medium shields and the same shield strength as the Barracuda with 3 S-class shields. It's also pretty fast and durable with decent storage capacity. It falls just behind the Terran Bolo in terms of storage capacity, but it's still enough to get the job done. Now, the Thresher gunship, which is an extremely interesting ship. It's a medium-class ship with 8 medium turrets, which is twice as many as, for example, the Terran Sin Destroyer. This makes it a great option for anti-fighter warfare, especially with the new arc turrets. Add an Ion Pulse railgun to the mix, and you'll be able to take down an enemy shield really fast and slow them down, up to the M-class at least.
We're taking hits.
Speaking of ion weapons, all Boron ships have them, and they're great for slowing down other ships. However, they only work on ships of the same size or lower. That means M-class ships can only slow down other M-class ships or S-class ships, but not capitals. Speaking of which, we'll see another ship that can slow down capitals in a second. The Thresher is also highly maneuverable, but has the highest shield strength of all the M-class ships, which is great for defense. However, it's not the strongest in terms of hull strength. So once your enemies get through the shields, you'll need to think about making a run for it. Finally, one cool thing about the Thresher is that its turrets are both on the top and bottom, which is great for anti-fighter warfare since they're able to hit all sides. Overall, the Thresher is a valuable addition to any Boron fleet. Now, let's talk about the Hydra. This ship looks extremely cool, almost like an organic version of some of the ships in Battlestar Galactica. And when it comes to offense, the Hydra is a monster. It's an M-class ship with 4 forward-facing weapons and 3 turrets, which is comparable to the Terran Katana. But here's the kicker. The Hydra has over 250% more shield strength than the Katana, thanks to the amazing Boron shields. With good speed and maneuverability, the Hydra has everything you need in an M-class ship. I'm personally really excited about this ship and can already tell it'll be one of my favorites to fly. It looks cool, it's maneuverable, and with modifications to every single weapon and engine, this ship will be an absolute beast. Alright, let's move on to the big guns, the capital ships. Starting with the Freighter, the Sturgeon. While it may not be the most impressive ship out there, it does have a cool design. Its stats are middle of the road in just about everything: hull, shields, storage. And it's not even the fastest ship around. That title still belongs to the Sonra Vanguard. But it's decent and it looks nice. I can see myself using it. Next up, the Rorqual Miners. These things are insane. With a whooping 205,000 shield power and 31,000 hull points, you'd have to blast through a massive shield before even making a dent in its hull. And not only that, it's also the fastest ship around and has a decent cargo hold. This ship is hands down the best choice for mining. Even the Vigordonia miner doesn't come close. And let's not forget, it looks absolutely stunning while doing its job. This is a no-brainer choice for me. Let's dive into one of the most intriguing ships, the Guppy carrier. This is the first L-class carrier with 8 docking bays for small ships, with an additional capacity for 8 ships inside. That's a whooping total of 16 ships. And the Guppy's deployment system is lightning fast. How does it work, you ask? Well, the landing spot for this ship is outside, which is a clever design choice by Ubisoft. You'll land on the outside and be automatically drawn in, avoiding any potential collisions. Plus, the fast deployment means you can release your ships into space quickly and efficiently. But that's not all. The Guppy has massive shield points with an impressive 270,000 and 117,000 hull points, which is above average. And because it's a carrier, it has more container storage than any other military L-class ship. It's also one of the fastest, if not the fastest, L-class ship out there. Just look at it. It's like it's flowing through space effortlessly. The visual design is just awe-inspiring. With 8 M-class turrets, the Guppy can defend itself against attackers, but it does lack an M-class dock, which is understandable given its limited size. While the Guppy might not be the perfect ship, it has its own unique strengths that make it stand out in the game's economy. Once you played the new storyline, you will understand its origin. So, don't underestimate this tiny but mighty carrier. It's an excellent choice for any player looking to dominate space with their fleet.
I am embarrassed to say that our defensive capabilities are woefully inadequate. Ashamedly so. Our economy is so fractured, we struggle to construct anything larger, perhaps, than a frigate.
Let's dive into the Boron's most formidable offensive ship, the Ray Destroyer. It's worth noting that, as of now, the Boron don't have a battleship, so the Destroyer is the most powerful ship in their arsenal. Like the Guppy carrier, the Ray has an impressive 270,000 shield strength, making it a tough nut to crack. It may not be the fastest ship out there, but with a few upgrades and modifications, it's an absolute powerhouse. One of its standout features is the main gun, the ion projector, which is specifically designed to slow down capital ships. This makes the Ray an invaluable asset in battle, as it allows to slow other ships down, so that fighters and corvettes can engage in the fight against larger enemy vessels. The Ray also provides 2 L-class turrets and 6 M-class turrets, which not only help defend the ship, but also aid in slowing down enemy capital ships. It's important to note that the Boron don't focus on building ships specifically meant to take down capital ships on their own. Instead, they rely on swarms of smaller ships to overwhelm their opponents. With its 2 S-class docks, the Ray Destroyer can either carry additional Barracudas or deploy laser towers to help control the battlefield. All in all, the Ray is a well-designed ship that serves its purpose in the Boron strategy of overwhelming their foes with sheer numbers. Let's move up to the XL class ships now, starting with the Walrus Builder. While it may not have any fancy features, it has its own unique model like the other builders. Interestingly, the front of the ship resembles a Terran design, more specifically an Asgard. Despite that, it's still an impressive ship model, equipped with 1 M-class and 1 S-class dock, and of course, the massive Boron shields. But if we're talking about favorite capital ship models, the Orca would definitely be mine. It has a striking appearance with its eyes being the docking ports for the S-class ships. This design element is a nice touch. Not only that, but the Orca has 8 S-class ship docks and 2 M-class ship docks, making it an even better carrier than the Guppy. It can store more ships inside and has almost 500,000 shield power. Like all Boron ships, the Orca heavily relies on its shields, and once they're depleted, it has to retreat from the fight. With only 6 M-class turrets, it's not a ship you want to keep in the middle of a battle with all the chaos happening around you. And here we have to talk about the Boron fleet's largest ship, the XL carrier called Shark. This is probably the first really fast-acting carrier with 16 S-class docks, 64 S ships stored inside, 4 M-class docks, and 8 M-class ships stored inside. It can hold a lot and deploy these ships incredibly fast. You can see this on screen as we engage in a fight. The fighters are released quickly and start engaging the enemy without delay. The Shark itself is a stronghold to be reckoned with, boasting almost 800,000 shield points and almost 400,000 hull points in High Preset. This adds up to over 1,000,000 hit points, and 2/3 of those regenerate. But the ship relies heavily on its fighters because it only has 8 M-class turrets. Now, let's talk about the Boron strategy. They rely on 3 things. First, slowing down the enemy. Second, swarming the enemy. And third, relying on a lot of mediocre guns on the battlefield. Unfortunately, the Boron only have one ship with L-class turrets, the Ray Destroyer. But these turrets are not worth it, as they act more like your ion gun facing in 2 different directions, which can slow down other ships. When it comes to capital fights, it raises the question, can the Boron destroy a Xenon station with their ships? It's unclear, but if you know my channel, we're definitely going to find out. In the next few videos, we'll dive into the story of Kingdom End, talk about the stations and the economy, and I've got a few surprises up my sleeve for you.
Before we commence with business matters, may I say that it is a great honor to work with you heralds on your royal mission.
Thank you for tuning in, and swim well, my friend.